Early on, I dealt king queen offsuit on the button. I raised to 15. Small blind calls for 10 more. The big blind also calls. We go 3 ways to the flop. It's queen 8-5 with 2 spades. We have top pair and a good kicker. The opponent's check. I bet 20 for value. The small blind calls. The big blind calls as well. I imagine I'm up against a worse queen or draws of some sort. The turn is another 5. The small blind checks. The big blind decides he's going to rep trips and leads for 50. Suppose he could have something like 6-5 or ace-5 of spades. I'm not giving up yet. I call. Small blind goes into the tank, then calls 2. I'm not sure if I'm ahead anymore. The river is a king, giving me top 2 pair. The small blind checks. The big blind continues with the story that he was trying to tell on the turn, that he has trips or better. He fires for 180, leaving himself with 20 behind. I'm on the fence with this decision. I have a strong hand, but my opponent is betting big into 2 other players. Would he do this as a bluff? Because as good as my hand is, it's really only a bluff catcher at this point. Even if I have the big blind beat, what does a small blind have? Taking a long time to think this through. You can see across the table, one of the other players gets out his phone to help capture some footage. This is his angle here. I'm perplexed and not loving the spot that I found myself in. The person filming decides maybe the shot would be better if it looked like he's going over some waves in a boat. His finger then makes a cameo as I'm staring down the opponent to see if I can spot something on him that'll push me one way or another. Ultimately, I come to the conclusion that this is not a kid who looks like he has it. I make the call. I figured there's a good chance the small blind will act quickly since he's had plenty of time to figure out what he wants to do while waiting for me. He tanks though. It's possible he has a 5. Eventually, he announces a call. My attention immediately goes to the big blind to see if he's bluffing or not. This is not the face of someone who's happy to get called. Small blind turns over ace-king offsuit with the king of spades. He made an ambitious call on the turn, but he drilled top-top on the river. The big blind doesn't want to show what he attempted to bluff with, and he mucks. I turn over top 2 pair to win it. I thought there was some chance that I was behind both players, so happy to take this one down. It's a large pot for a $600 buy-in game. I've got over 1,000 in front of me.